Hi there. In this video, I want to talk about different strategies that you can use to stake your hex. You can definitely try out different strategies and you will get different results. So in this video, I want to share a few of different ways how you can go about staking your hex and what you can expect from it. Now, before we go into it, let's get into the basics. And the basics are pretty simple. To stake your hex, you can stake it from 1 day or you can stake it up to 15 years. The basic APYs goes like this. If you stake for a month, you can get around 8% APY. Well, not APY, but a percentage yield, 1%. If you stake for a year, you're getting around 12, maybe a little bit more percent. So it's adds up to basically 1% a month. Now, if you stake for 15 years, and that's what we have in this spreadsheet, if you were to stake for 15 years, you would make 40% APY. So basically 40% every single year. And this is by design. It is created in a way that it would simulate compounding interest. Now in this spreadsheet, what are the main parameters? So basically I calculated all the prices when the hex price is at 24 cents, which currently when I'm filming this video is pretty much where it is. Ethereum price currently is 3,300. I picked this number because maybe it will go up. And yeah, so right now I'm calculating it all at 3,500. And this is important for end staking. Now, when I'm recording this video, and maybe in a couple of months, this will be a pretty old video already, as Pulse Chain will launch, which is a fork of Ethereum, where that Richard Hart is working on right now, and it will have much lower fees, and maybe everyone will be trading on the Pulse Chain network instead of the Hex on Ethereum network, and so the fees will not matter as much, but right now they do. And if you will have your stakes on the Ethereum network for a long time, you will still need to worry about them. So let's take a look at what we have. So first is the strategy that I want to talk about is, well, I named it normal, or basically staking for a year and then staking the same principal once again and again and again. So I have here 40,000 hex, which is very close to $10,000. So if you were to stake it for a single year, you would earn around 5,000 hex, and that would translate into around $1,200 minus the Ethereum gas fee to unstake your stake, and that would leave you with around $150–$70. So if we were to do this for 15 years, let's say, we would make $18,000 of interest, and we would still have our principal. So the result, in my opinion, is pretty good. So you lock up your money for a year, and after that year you get interest that you can do whatever you want with. Now, if you were to put your principal and interest to stake here at the second year again, at the end you would probably have something close to a 40% API as you get with a 15-year stake, as this basically just simulates the compounding interest that you get. But What is the benefits of this strategy of doing it year by year versus a 15-year long stake? Well, here, every single year you get money that you can use for whatever expenses that you have. And when you have a 15-year long stake, well, if you suddenly need the money for something and you need to spend it somewhere, well, you're in a huge problem, as when you stake Hex, and if you decided to stake for 15 years and you don't stake for the whole period, you get penalized. And instead of making money, you can even lose money. So, yeah, it's not a good idea to do stakes that maybe you're not going to be willing to wait out until they mature. So this strategy is definitely safer for a person that's not sure how much willpower they actually have to not unstake it. And pretty much this is the strategy that I'm planning to use and am using pretty much, as I'm going to be staking all my Hex for a year, maybe a little less, and I'm planning to um, just use the interest for my own expenses and just grow my capital as needed. And well, with $10,000, it's a decent sum if you're a beginner. To invest, it's definitely a good starting point. Though if you have smaller amounts, then maybe these strategies aren't even a viable option for you at all. Because if you do a stake, let's say for $1,000, that would be 4,000 Hex. You would probably earn less interest that your gas fee would be even higher than your interest that you earned. So it would not be a viable option. Let's talk about a Hex staking ladder. What is the idea behind it? The idea is that you have your initial sum of money, and in this example, it is the same $10,000, but we divide it in 15 years, and that leaves us with 2,730 Hex to stake for every single year. How it works is that you divide your initial investment and you stake your first 2,730 for a year, the second for 2 years, then for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up to 15 years. And you have these small stakes with varying lengths. But the problem, well, firstly, the benefits is that you can invest small amounts of money for a long period and you can make the most out of the interest. You also have money coming in every single year or month, whatever your ladder is built up with. In this example, it is year by year, so you would have money coming in every single year. So you would not have that pressure to unstake your Hex. Let's say if you only had a 15-year stake and you would not have any income coming in from your stakes, you would just have, like, let's say, paper gains, because you would be getting rich on paper, but for 15 years you will not be able to touch it. And that's if the Hex price would go parabolically to insane heights, you would have that insane rush to unstake it, and that's not really that good for you. But with a Hex ladder, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds, as you're also having very long stakes and you're also having stakes ending every single year and making you interest. Though, if you are making a ladder and you don't have a huge initial capital, as you can see, I already marked these rows as non-profitable. As well, if you stake 2,700 hex, you make 390 hex within a year. That's $93 worth of hex if the price stays as it is right now. And the Ethereum gas fee is $156. So this stake would lose you money. And yeah, if you are wondering how I'm calculating these unstake hex fees, you can go to hexnoob.com and stake calculator. I'll have a link in the description. And here you can basically enter the length of your stake and the gas price on the Ethereum network. And for these calculations, I use 50 gray. It might be much higher within a year, though right now you can get such way prices on the weekends. So I think it makes sense to use these in calculations. So yeah, for the first year you would lose money, for the second again, and for the third year you would also lose money. Fourth year you're almost in profit by $20, which is very, very low. Here you are on fifth year, almost $100, more than $100 in profit, which is very, very low. Though, let's do a quick calculation. So 2,730 hex by the price that I'm calculating, that would be, yeah. So you would be investing $655 every single month. So yeah, that's not a lot of interest, and you would be losing money for the first 3 years. And then, well, for investing $655 and then making 1,500, that's a pretty good deal, I would say, but the Ethereum gas fees are still very high, and that would eat up all your profits. Now, again, if Pulse Chain launches and solves this problem, that's a hell of a lot of money that's not leaving your pocket. So you would have your $17,000 in your pocket, basically, because you did not have to pay these insane fees. And now, within 15 years, your last stake of $655 would make you $4,200. But yeah, well, let's say that you made $4,200. So that's a pretty good deal, in my opinion. But again, you have waited 15 years. Well, maybe also the hex price increased in value and you made a pretty good amount of money. But currently, if you don't have a lot of capital, I would not actually do a ladder stake on the Ethereum network, mainly because of the fees. Or if you're doing it, well, I would only start, basically have all your stakes populate and end at 8 years when you already start making more profit. So that would make more sense in my opinion. Also, the total interest, well, you have invested here the same $10,000, but with a hex ladder, you would earn a total of 30,000. In my normal strategy, you only earned 18,000, but you every single month it is profitable, and you are also not month every single year you're profitable, and you're making a lot more to play with, basically. Here, for several years, you're basically waiting for your longer stakes to mature. Another thing that you can do with the Hex ladders is basically you can, what would you do is you invest your principal and you get interest. Let's say you are profitable here and you have your principal, you get your interest, you take out your interest, and you stake your principal once more now for 15 years again. And this way you would have a never-ending ladder of stakes. Now when your second year stake ends, you stake it for another 15 years, and once your 15-year stake ends, you have a 16-year-old stake, a 17-year-old stake, that you just put up to the end of your ladder. And this way you would have basically a never-ending ladder of 15-year-old stakes that pay the most. And yeah, that's definitely a good financial idea, I guess, as yeah, eventually you would have these insane long stakes ending every single year after 15 years. So if you have not made it in crypto yet, this is a strategy that you could use to turn your small capital into insane gains. Now in this sheet, I'm only talking about the money that you can make by just staking. I'm not talking about the price appreciation that could happen. And who knows what can happen within 15 years. And in this video, I don't really want to speculate about it, but even just looking at the interest that you make, it's already enough to make insane gains. If you made 40% every year on your money, it does not take long for you to have an insane amount of capital at your hands. Basically, you're doubling your money every 3 years. So yeah, that's a very, very good result. So yeah, and if you were to invest all your $10,000 for a 15-year-old stake, you would make $61,000 of interest. But again, you have a lot of risks. Maybe you will not be able to fight your own instincts to unstake it, and if Hex, for example, increased in value a lot, or you would need your money for some reason, then you are at a pretty bad position, as your Hex stake would be for 15 years. So yeah, these are the three strategies that I wanted to talk about. Currently I am in this strategy. If Pulse Chain launches and Ethereum fees aren't going to be a problem anymore, I might be considering a different strategy, maybe something more of a ladder kind. Maybe have a 5-year rolling ladder. So for example, you stake for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and with even parts. And when your first year stake ends, you stake for 6 years again, and you have this 5-year staking ladder, which is also a pretty good alternative. Now, if you want to play out yourself with what would work for you and what different strategies you would like to test out, there is a few resources I want to share with you. The first one is hexcalculator.net, hexcalc.net. I'll have links in the description. Basically, you say how much you want to stake, $40,000 for 365 for a year, and you calculate it. So yeah, it shows you the APY and how much Hex you made, the total payout, and how much it would be in dollar value. Now we can also do price prediction. Maybe within a year you expect the price to be 50 cents. And let's calculate that. And that makes it to some insane numbers, as your $10,000 become $22,000 within a year if the price does what you expect it to do. So this is a pretty good calculator that helps you test out your strategies. Next, we have Stake Hex today. Also, we'll have a link in the description. Let's go to the first page of it. So create the stakes. So yeah, you have your $10,000. How many stakes you want? Let's add it at 15, and maximum days in 15 years. So it will divide our $10,000 in 15. So let's view it, and it will show us a simulation of what could happen. Now, it is a projection, and you will have insane numbers over here from your $10,000. So your principal would says it is, yeah, these numbers are pretty insane if you follow the basics that they put up. But to me, in my opinion, they are too optimistic. For example, the price is set at $11, not even at the end of 2023, which is maybe possible, maybe, but it's very, very high. So if we have it at, let's say, 50 at 2023, and maybe at the end we have like $3 or $5, we can basically estimate it. And then if we were looking at our hex stakes, as you can see, it starts out slowly, and every single year we are making more and more interest, and it grows even to $80,000 from a very small stake of $667. So that's what's possible. Also, there's a second curve of hex payout per T-share. It is maybe at a better range, but it is also very impactful. This is basically how much hex do you make per T-share. Right now it is at around 6 hex per T-share, and I'm not too sure how much of a uptrend curve is going to be. And again, it's quite a speculation, but 7.4, maybe just 7 within several years is doable. We'll see. Though, yeah, that definitely cuts down our profits a bit. But yeah, this is a tool. You make your own predictions, and based on your analysis, you will do your decisions. So in this video, I just wanted to give you the tools, introduce some ideas about hex staking. There's definitely different ways how you can approach it, and I think it is very individual how you want your money to be coming in, at what periods. Maybe you need it every single month, and you're better off just staking your whole capital for a month and taking out your interest and doing your monthly stakes. Maybe you can just plan your finances in advance, and it's okay for you to stake for a whole year, and you take your interest and live off your interest for a whole year. Maybe you can do 2 or 3 years. That maybe works for you as well. Though crypto is very unpredictable, and right now the average length stake on Hex, I think, is 6.5 years, Maybe I'm mistaken, but it is somewhere around that. And this is, to me, an insane level of trust that people put into the system. I'm investing in crypto since 2017, 2018, somewhere around that year. So it's already around 5 years. And crypto has changed tremendously within this period. And overall, crypto has only been for like 12 years. How long has Bitcoin been around? So staking for 6 years to me is like a whole generation of crypto that's going to change. And well, yeah, it's definitely a very trust move on the Hex ecosystem to have such long stakes. But it will definitely pay them a huge interest. So this is it for this video. I think it's already very long. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you got some good ideas for your own stakes, and happy, well, interest on your money. Yeah, that's sweet. So happy staking and bye. I'll see you in the next video.